On a Saturday morning at 7:30, the doorbell rung. In some way, each chime is carrying the weight of 1,000 irate keyboards. Clicks. I could see Patricia Lorne, our HOA president and self-described organizer of Digital Harmony, practically pulsing with anger through the frosted glass. She struck the door with her fist as if she were attempting to enter a different reality, where her absurd regulations were genuinely respected. With a voice that could remove paint, she yelled, "Open this door immediately. Ben Weller, I am aware that you are inside. This is an urgent HOA issue involving vital local infrastructure. Max." My 14-year-old son was inside, eating cereal while using his phone to monitor the security camera footage. With a smile, he showed me the screen with Patricia's face colored a striking purple. On my laptop, I was looking over the most recent HOA email, which had the entire headline in uppercase. Suspected cyber sabotage at 122 Matolan is the subject of an urgent neighborhood WiFi compromise. I arched an eyebrow at my kid and took a slow drink of my coffee. "Max, could you elaborate on the specifics of yesterday's Wi-Fi password change?" Grinned with the assurance that only a teenager who is aware that he hasn't done anything wrong can muster. "HA is really awful." I gave a nod of approval. "Good decision." Along with what sounded like Patricia attempting to look through our mail. The doorbell attack persisted. "I'm Ben Weller, a graphic artist who relocated to Meadow Glenn Crossing 3 years ago because of the excellent schools, the tree-lined streets, and what I naively thought would be a tranquil suburban lifestyle." I hadn't anticipated Patricia Lorne, a retired librarian who seemed to have determined that controlling our homeowners' association in an authoritarian manner was her true calling. Max, my kid, swiftly rose to the position of least favorite resident in the HOA. He was a tech-savvy 8th student who loved to play clever, practical jokes, and detested the beige color scheme Patricia insisted was the only one that was appropriate. For our area, Max gathered HOA violation notifications like trophies while the other children collected baseball cards, by making rules about everything from the ideal doormat colors to the exact angle at which hummingbird feeders could be hung. Patricia had transformed our once pleasurable neighborhood into her own little kingdom. Her most recent preoccupation was a wireless network she termed the Meadow Wanted Mesh, which she persuaded most locals to join for the sake of improved security and digital synergy. You would think she was promising us a cancer cure based on the way she presented it at the quarterly meeting, with evangelical zeal. She had envisioned a single digital ecosystem in which each household adds to the overall bandwidth capacity. There will be no buffering or dead zones, just seamless, harmonious. CONNECTEDNESS. One of the rare people who chose to maintain my own secure router was me. Patricia seemed to view me as a digital outcast as a result of this. She asserted that my failure to accompany me was causing electromagnetic selfishness and shattering the neighborhood's digital environment. The harassment began mildly. The citations for purported frequency leakage, whatever that meant, were issued first. Then, in what sounded like a bad science fiction film, she accused me of EMF selfishness. The letters concerning cyber neighborhood were especially funny because they used fictitious, technical phrases that would make any real IT professional cry. When Max decided to play around with our network name, things got out of hand. Patricia was watching first, followed by the HOA security van, and then yesterday's masterpiece, which supposedly caused Patricia's brain to shatter. Additionally, he had updated the password and secured it firmly. The following events were complete anarchy. It seems that an odd thing happened when Max changed our settings. Patricia abruptly lost her priceless Meadownet and the ties of several of her neighbors. She was at our door in a matter of minutes, yelling accusations that my family had used what she referred to as adolescent malware to compromise the HOA network. "Your router signal is visible," she yelled through the door. It is disrupting our peaceful mesh network. Cyber terrorism is this. If nothing else, I opened the door at last to keep her from having a stroke on my porch. She appeared to be ready to declare war on behalf of all the routers as she stood there in her trademark beige pantsuit with the clipboard tucked to her chest. As I took another sip of coffee, I responded quietly, "Good morning, Patricia. Weather is lovely right now." She tried to push by me and into the house. She spat, "Don't you good morning me?" I firmly yet respectfully blocked her path. "Your son has used your Wi-Fi as a weapon against the community. I need access to your router right now." "That's intriguing," I said, keeping my composure. "What specific effects does altering our private network password have on your system? Unless you have been gaining unauthorized access to our network, of course." I worried she could faint because of how quickly her face changed from purple to white. "I don't mean that the mesh network needs that." She struggled with her clipboard and took out what appeared to be a hurriedly made neighborhood diagram with several Wi-Fi symbols scrawled on it. That night, I got in touch with my friend Derek, a cybersecurity specialist who owed me a favor after I created his business logo. I was astounded by what he found when he performed diagnostics on the network in our area. Derek told Ben over the phone, "You won't believe this." He sounded both amused and incredulous. "Nothing was blocked when your child changed their password. Something was revealed. Throughout the area, this Patricia woman has placed illegal signal boosters, concealed them in people's yards, and even fastened them to their houses. What did she do?" I took some time to carefully consider this information. Derek went on, "That's not even the worst part. Using these boosters, she has been keeping an eye on everyone's internet usage. I discovered logs that demonstrated she had been monitoring user usage habits and blocking specific websites. Among her neighbors who have been flagged as high bandwidth threats is Margaret Sullivan, whose primary offense seems to be viewing an excessive number of birdcam live streams. The evidence that Derek found was astounding. Patricia had transformed our peaceful suburb into a condition of personal surveillance. Her entire operation's primary router hub was located in her garage and was linked to a laptop that was specifically marked HOA Master Access on label maker tape. I got in touch with a cybersecurity lawyer almost once, and I followed his suggestion to submit a complaint with the FCC. When the lawyer heard the specifics, he virtually started to salivate. He exclaimed with excitement, "This is multiple federal violations, unapproved data, interception, privacy issues, and signal dispersion. There could be major repercussions for this woman." Within a week, the FCC compliance team showed up at Patricia's residence early on Tuesday morning in a white van. As they moved box after box of equipment out of her garage, I saw from my window. Patricia was yelling and making crazy gestures about load balancing and digital harmony while she stood on her yard. Everything was seized, including her laptop and its vast collection of damaging data. They later distributed the embarrassing screenshots to the impacted residents. Patricia's notes included things like blocking too many memes, slowing down Cheryl's YouTube because she streams too much, and keeping an eye on Lot 6 dubious, maybe sexual posts. The following emergency HOA meeting drew the largest crowd in the history of the neighborhood. Patricia's normally flawless hair was unkempt, and her beige blazer was crumpled as she stood at the podium in the community center's harsh fluorescent lighting. She blinked quickly, resembling an owl in confusion. "All I wanted to do was promote digital harmony," she sobbed, gripping the podium. "The internet is a risky environment. By establishing a secure, regulated environment for the best browsing experiences, I was safeguarding everyone." Slowly, I lifted my hand. "Patricia, did you decide that my 14-year-old son was playing Roblox too much and block his server as part of this digital harmony?" The room burst into activity. Other inhabitants started talking about their personal experiences. Tom from 2 homes down found that Patricia had been restricting his ability to participate in video conferences while working from home. Sarah from the corner lot discovered that her internet purchases had been tracked and evaluated, with comments regarding her excessive use of Amazon. Wearing his favorite hoodie, which said, "I own the bandwidth," Max got up and explained Patricia's system in great technical detail. He received a standing ovation from the audience. Max received a pat on the back from even the sour old Mr. Peterson, who frequently grumbled about all the kids in the area. Patricia was removed from the HOA board by a unanimous vote. Oh, gosh. She stood, motionless at the stage as the results were revealed, her mouth expanding and shutting like a fish out of water. She frantically yelled, "But I still have the master password." Seemingly unaware that federal officers had taken down her whole network, Patricia was fined $75,000 by the FCC for a number of infractions. She was holding the official notice as she stood in the community center, reading the amount repeatedly while her face went through every human emotion imaginable. $75,000, she said in a cracked whisper that grew louder. 75, 0.